Napheesa Collier has some thoughts on the ongoing controversy regarding the Indiana Fever getting 41 of their 44 games televised. By the way, other teams are getting plenty televised as well. I think the Liberty are like 32 or something like that. Even the Chicago Sky 20, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Anyway, we're going to get into it. Welcome back. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Hope it's better than mine. Got the migraine thing going. It's been a while. It means I'll probably get another one soon so it can, keep the percentages going. Shout out to the 19. So let's talk about this a little bit. Napheesa Collier was on Stephen A. Smith's. Was it First Take or was it Stephen A? It doesn't really matter. Keep in mind, Napheesa Collier is I believe, vice president of the Players Union, the executive committee of the Players Union, and a co-founder of Unrivaled. And we saw what the ratings there were like without Caitlin Clark. But she is asked about the scheduling with the Fever game. So I want to listen to this. I believe Molly asked the question. Then Stephen A. Smith has a take. And then Napheesa responds to that as well. So let's get into this right now. This is kind of interesting.
So Caitlin Clark obviously has been a hot button topic on the show and took the WNBA by storm last year. Now her team is going to have 41 of their 44 games nationally televised, while the reigning champs, the Liberty, only have 32. Was this a fair move by the W?
Um, I think it's two things. I mean, obviously people want to watch Caitlin play, and so you have to put the people on TV that people want to see. But at the same time, like there's stars all over the league, and you want good basketball as well. Obviously, Indiana, especially like with their free agents, they're gonna be a great team. But to not have the defending champs on TV more, I think it's kind of crazy. I mean, it doesn't have to be where you're taking games away from Indiana, but I think you can raise the level of TV games for the other teams as well.
Why is that?
Okay, before we listen to Stephen A's point, which, by the way, as you know, I'm not a huge fan, but I try and be fair, and he makes a very good point. Let's dig into this. This is this is nonsense to me. Respectfully, I actually like Napheesa Collier. I think she was the MVP last year. But this is more of the same nonsense that we've been getting. First of all, phrasing the question with fair is ridiculous because it's not about fairness. Like I said, I think the Liberty have 32 nationally televised games. Every game that the Fever have, they play another opponent. So if you check any league, they are going to put on the teams. And by the way, it's not the league, it's the networks. That's the other thing. So much of this is framed at the WNBA, at Kathy. How could they do this? Oh my gosh, that white girl and all this other nonsense. But it's not. It's the networks. And why is it the networks? Because they shelled out $2.2 billion over 11 years, and they need to get that money back. So the networks are going to choose games that are going to get enough viewers so that they can sell enough ads at a high enough price so that they don't go out of business. This is really, I don't understand the difficulty in grasping the most basic economic concept. I don't know if it's being a charity for the NBA all these years, or if schools are that bad that we graduate from college and don't know basic economic concepts. The more people watch, the more the ads are going to get sold for. The more they sell for, the more they make, and the more they will be able to pay the WNBA, say next time they have a media rights agreement. The more the WNBA gets in those media rights deals, the more the players get paid. I hope I broke that down simply enough, Fee. You're welcome. So again, you're getting a little bit of this, and you can tell in the voice in the front that it's just they don't like so much of it being about Caitlin. And by the way, there aren't plenty of other stars in the league. Let me rephrase. If you're defining star as the better players, right? Say the players that are on the all-star team. Okay. But stars in the way I'm thinking of it means they also people want to see them play. And you simply don't have that right now, but you could get that if you would let Caitlin Clark do her thing, support her instead of trash her, and then we can grow the rest of the league. So let's dig into Stephen A's question here for her. Going to try and reframe it and see what she has to say.
That an issue? I asked this question respectfully, Napheesa, because I remember in the 80s, for example, when Magic Johnson and Larry Bird took the NBA by storm and they were winning championships, competing for championships, but then this dude named Michael Jordan came along. And Michael Jordan came along and he wasn't yet winning championships, but his popularity was so astronomical that the NBA practically marketed everything they could around this guy. So to know that there's an example like that as a shining example to be followed that could benefit the league, particularly down the road, why is that an issue when we've seen that such a marketing plan has worked in the past?
Before she answers, to his point, this is a fantastic question. It is what the NBA did. And guess what? It raised the entire NBA. Other players got noticed, other players got fans. The entire league grew. Every single player benefited from Michael Jordan. And I think it was what, 7 seasons in Chicago before there was a title, but everything was around Jordan. It didn't mean other players weren't marketed or that people didn't know them, but everything was centered around Michael Jordan, and that grew the entire NBA into, until David Stern left, maybe the preeminent professional sports league in the world at the time, and that was all off the back of marketing Michael Jordan. So let's hear what Fee has to say to this particular argument.
I don't think it's an issue. I do think Caitlin's a star, and like I said, people want to see her, and we are trying to grow the league. Like, you need to put on TV the players that people want to see. But kind of what I said before, I don't think raising the level of the other teams has to mean bringing down Caitlin or the Indiana Fever. They should have those amount of games on TV on primetime, but I think other teams should also have more than what they have.
Okay, now to that point, and here's where I get to the basic math is hard. If you don't, excuse me, if you don't take away from the Fever games, you can't add more games to the other teams. And again, it's not like the other teams aren't getting a lot of games as well. There's a limited number of games. I'll break it down to, let's just say for argument's sake, there are 100 games. 40 of those are Fever, 60 of those are the other teams. That's the 100. You can't give more to the 60 unless you take away from the 40. They are only televising a finite number of games. Now, maybe at some point you'll get more games televised, but that's just, you have that certain number of games, just like the NFL does. And to that point, if you watch, now they have look, someone like the NFL, they actually have a little more flexibility. And sometimes you'll just see it late, especially late in the season, division rival games that may not be the most popular teams, but it's a division rival, it's for maybe a playoff spot or whatever. But the NFL is big enough to do that. But even then, for the most part, whether it's Major League Baseball and teams like the Dodgers and the Yankees, or it's the NFL, and as bad as they've been for 30 years, still the Cowboys, they're going to market, and of course the Chiefs, obviously, they're going to play the teams that people are most going to watch in those primetime slots. It's really not complicated at all. And I'm going to leave you with one last bit. I think I have it here. Yeah, Colson, Sydney Colson, in Indiana, actually is asked about this question, and I think she nails it. I think this is a far better answer than what Napheesa Collier gave to Stephen A.
What do you anticipate it being like to be part of all these sellouts and being the biggest show on wherever you go now?
I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be remarkable. And what I always thought about when I was on a team that wasn't getting that kind of visibility, whenever you go play the teams that are, that's when you bring your best game. Because now it's all eyes on your team too, and people, hopefully will be tuning into our games and seeing players from other teams that they like, that are exciting, because there are a lot of good players around this league. So I think what we're going to be able to do, what the Aces, the New Yorks, what we're able to do is elevate the game and get people to respect our entire league, not just a few teams.
There you go. Gee, it sounds almost like what Caitlin Clark fans have been saying all along, and many of them have been examples of, hey, yeah, I never watched the WNBA. I started watching because of Caitlin Clark, and now, I love watching Arike, or now I love watching Napheesa Collier, or whomever it may be for them. That's exactly it. The Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark have to play another team every one of those games. And there are a lot of other games without the Fever involved. But that is how you grow the league. Get your star out there, maximize the ratings, which maximizes the revenue, which gets the pairs played, which is what they say that they want, and then should also result in increased views for other teams as fans get used to them and they find other teams and players that they absolutely love. So I'm going to leave it there. I just thought it was wild. They can't get it in their heads what is beneficial to them. They're too stuck on this. Well, this Caitlin Clark stuff, and we were balling for 25 years, and all this other craziness. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate your support as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.